Hello and welcome to Meet Our Makers. I am your host, Jeremy J. Facette. On this episode, we get to meet Alan Sparhawk and Mimi Parker of the band Low. In this episode, we talk about what life has been like for the band living in quarantine. We talk about the beginnings of Low and how they started off as a band that sort of subverted expectations. We also discuss what goes into a typical Low song and what really defines a Low song. We also talk about the genre of slowcore, which is a genre that they are often thought to be pioneers of. So thank you for listening, and please enjoy. This is me meeting Low.
Hey, hello.
Hi. Do I have both of you on this, or just
Yes.
you for now?
Yeah.
Okay.
You do.
Hi, Mimi. Hi, Alan.
Well,
How are you two doing?
pretty good.
Yeah.
It's early in the day still. But, I think it's
I know. What is
early
it? What
for
is it?
everybody.
Noon. It's noon there.
It's noon.
Got
Yeah.
time to get up. But
Yeah, I understand. It's 1 here, and I feel exactly the same way. I know time doesn't really matter anymore.
no, it's
Yeah. It's,
all the rules are out the window, I think.
Yeah, I suppose I should say for posterity that we're talking on April 29th, because who knows what it'll look like by the
Right.
time this comes out.
yeah. Right.
Um, I know I need to start doing that, because if any of these go out in June and suddenly we're all legally bound from leaving our house at all,
Yeah.
this is gonna sound much better. So
Yeah.
so yes, it is April 29th. Thank you guys for coming and chatting with me today.
Yeah. No problem.
So what have you guys been doing in isolation to stay busy, to keep busy and grounded?
Well, the one good thing about being a touring band is we're when we're not touring, we're used to being at home, and
Yeah.
we kind of
We've
find
we've had some experience with like, oh, okay, that's cool. You were doing your job there for a while. Now you're not. And
Yeah.
you kind of have to sit at home and wait. And here's a list of things that you probably should be doing while you're hanging out, but nothing real obvious and immediate, like when you're out traveling, or if you have a job, you go there and you're like, okay, I have to do this and this and this. And at the end of the day, you have a measure of what you've accomplished. And when you're home, you don't have that, and I remember early on seeing that was a very real thing. Coming home from tour was almost more shocking to your psyche than leaving on tour, mostly because when you're coming home, there's part of your brain that's thinking, okay, I'm coming back home. Everything's going to be cool. I'm going to have my comfortable space, and this empty void that I'm feeling in my soul is going to get filled, but the rest of your brain's going, no, this is different now. What are you doing now? This is different. We had a good thing for a few weeks.
Mhm.
Yeah, to go from that daily grind of touring and moving all the time to then this sudden stasis of being in
Yeah,
one
so
spot. Yeah, I can imagine it being alarming.
Well,
It's alarming,
so,
but at the same time,
but the thing is, we've had many opportunities
To
to make
do that.
that adjustment.
Yeah.
So,
I feel
when you're
bad
on
for-
tour, you're thinking, you're making lists. Okay, when I get home, I'm going to do this and this and this. Well, now is our chance to actually get to those lists.
sure. Yeah.
So I've been painting my kitchen. I've, catching up on some just stuff around the house
Yeah,
that I need to
organizing
do.
some
Yeah,
things.
organizing and cleaning out the office. I'm reading, I'm watching some stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
But,
I know we've been trying to plant more in this time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's important. It's our growing season's kind of short up here, so we're just starting to kind of get into, all right, get the garden ready. But yeah, gardening can be, I think I would highly recommend gardening to anyone during this time, because it's an escape. It's really peaceful. It really teaches you patience, and teaches you like amazing things about the universe that you didn't really know, or that you'd never really come in contact with. But yeah, that's a good one. I think just for the health of the world, I think we should all be thinking a little bit more along the lines of
Yeah.
taking something out of the ground and putting it inside us.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, gardening. I finished building the sauna in the garage.
Oh
Just
yeah.
Oh wow.
sounds real. It sounds real. It sounds luxurious, but you realize it's the garage. It's just kind of a section off and put a little stove in, But
Hey, a sauna's a sauna.
yeah, they're great. It's really been helpful, I think.
So did you guys have to cancel a tour for this?
No, we didn't really have. Well, we had some stuff in June and some stuff
Okay.
maybe in
Yeah,
May.
we were really lucky. We put that last thing out a year from last September.
Yeah. So we had
So
our
we
last record.
toured.
Yeah,
Yeah,
were able
we
to
toured
tour
like
and
crazy last year, and this year was going to be downtime anyway, just writing and maybe doing
Yeah.
recording. So it actually has worked out kind of well for us.
Yeah, we were really lucky. There were a lot of people we know were just like,
oh man,
2 weeks into touring, the record
they're
had just
done,
come out.
yeah.
Like, nope, come back home. All that money you had to spend to
Yeah.
make, and a lot of these bands, it's a long-term thing. You're the span between, okay, I think I need to make a new record, and okay, I've been out touring it is really long, and you can get really far into the process, and then if something like this happens and disrupts it, or if something weird happens and everybody has to go home, it isn't just the money for that month. It's the money from the past year and a half, and probably the money you're hoping will carry you through the next year and a half, the next year and a half or so.
Yeah,
so some people, man, it's more than just losing a tour. It's like, wow, you just left like 4 years of income that you had sort of planned and sort of had taken
it's
some
quite
gambles on,
well thought out, planned out cycle, basically, is what it is. In the life of musicians, it's writing, recording, and touring. Writing, recording, and touring.
Yeah.
And when it gets, I guess,
yeah, if it gets
the wheel is
disrupted
broken.
the wrong time, it can really cost you, and really, even just psychologically, you've been prepping for that for like a year and a half.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I've noticed many people doing the Instagram live, which I know you guys have done a couple of already.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I saw, Alan, you have something today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is that important to you guys though, to like keep that connection going, even if it is remotely?
It's ending up being important.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, at first we thought, well, really, do people really want to see that?
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, it's.
I don't know why we're kind of always like that. We're kind of a little bit. This is maybe a culture thing where we come from. We're like, sure, people want to.
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to listen to this?
But honestly, it's been really great. It's giving us a chance to, to keep playing and to keep thinking. When you go back, and we're kind of doing some older stuff too. We're throwing in some old stuff, trying to do a new thing every time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been great to.
It's a good challenge, and I think you don't. It's easy to forget sometimes, like that it means something to people, and and, sometimes we're like, I don't know, but then you'll get a note or a letter from someone who it obviously means a lot to them and is helping them. And
I mean, we've had people that have never been able to see us live because of health issues, and finally they're saying, granted, it's it's not the whole band, and it's not how we would ideally want to be
performing,
represented, we like having Steve and having
more control over the sound.
Yeah, but it's been really great.
Were you guys ever just the two of you, right? You've always had someone else, right?
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah. So it must be kind of a challenge to almost reimagine the sound with those parts missing.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, we've kind of had enough experience now with writing together, and each person sometimes will bring in some fragments of something and we'll work them out together. But I don't know. I can. Yeah, I'm able to write and still sort of. There's this confidence in the back of my head, like, oh yeah, when Steve works on this, I'm sure it's going to be even better, and he'll surprise me with something, and same with Mim. So. I don't think it's really stifled that process. I mean, obviously, if it gets to be 6 months and we haven't seen Steve, then I think we'll probably start to try to figure out some other ways to be more in contact with him. But so far it's like Mim said, we're kind of at that stage right now where we're going to be home and kind of vaguely working on the future.
Yeah. I was actually going to ask about that, how a low song is typically started, because I've always wondered sort of who brings what into it, or if it just changes album to album, or just kind of what the building blocks usually are.
Well, I don't know. I mean, each song's different. I mean, a majority of the songs, maybe I write, and I'll have them kind of mostly figured out before I bring them to, you know,
Hmm.
usually Mimi is for the first person who hears something that I have that I feel like is almost complete or getting somewhere, and then we'll kind of work on it together. Steve's really good with arrangement and sort of finding ways to make things even more
Hmm.
focused, more, also some sophistication. And we're very folk, self-taught sort of basic musicians, and Steve definitely brings sort of a,
Yeah.
he went to school for this stuff, so it's pretty advantageous to have somebody who knows how to find a few voicings on the piano for something that I only
Yeah.
know one or two ways to do, and
Mm.
stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. It's
It's pretty,
so far we're not too nervous about it, but
yeah, it's pretty natural. Nothing's, yeah, we
yeah,
just try to be
sometimes, yeah,
real.
Mim writes songs, same things. She'll just kind of bring in,
Rarely.
and well, usually every record you bring in a couple things that
Yeah.
you've done
Yeah.
and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It usually starts out with a mostly complete idea, some chords and some words and melody, and then the rest of us kind of come in and figure out how to do it.
Yeah, so even the really quite longer tracks that you've done, are they long from the beginning, or is that something that ends up happening organically as you flesh them out?
Just definitely as we were working it out as a band.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm trying to think like some of
Mm.
the more some of the more specific long ones we have. Doing How to Waltz.
Yeah.
That one started. I remember kind of early on, as soon as we thought like, oh, okay, and then we could just kind of after the vocals are done, we just sort of roll into these chords and getting, I think pretty early on we thought, oh, I wonder what it'd be like. We really went for a
Hmm.
while on this, and we'd already. I mean, a lot of the band was sort of started and based on the idea of like, oh, I wonder how long we can play these two chords back and forth,
Yeah.
and it's this vibe still hold.
Yeah.
And
Well, I guess maybe Lullaby was our first attempt at
Lullaby
that.
was sort of long, but
And,
that's
a
Yeah.
lot of it was like, well, that's all of the lyrics I have.
the lyrics we have, and
How are we gonna make this song a song? Last more than
yeah,
three,
Well, yeah, and I think
less more
of
than a
and I
minute.
think of tracks. Yeah, and I think of tracks too, like Coattails, or
Hmm.
yeah.
songs that have very, very minimal lyrics but are fleshed out and are long and do have phases to them. So I was curious if that was like a band decision.
Yeah. That develops as you have the song. I yeah, it's funny. Little details will just come along. The more you work on something, if you have an idea and you're like, if you have a lot of faith in it, the more you work on it, the more you're gonna find those little details, and you're like, oh, okay, here's where this dynamic is. Okay, oh yeah, actually, this is really cool. When we dropped out of this thing, maybe should we do it for two or just four? And you start, you figure out all those little things, and as you're going, and yeah, sometimes it's like, wow, let's go on this one thing for a while, and because it works. And I don't know, I have a song right now that I'm working on that sort of, it has that, you could just play this forever and it would be probably just as boring as the first 10 seconds, which is actually a lot, which is
Yeah.
pretty good. So I don't know.
Well, there is sort of a ambient or drone mentality to, I think, a lot of your work, especially your earlier work, songs like the ones we've mentioned.
Hmm.
Right.
So that sort of two-note thing makes total sense, because there is that sort of hypnotic kind of quality to them.
Yeah. I mean, minimal, I don't know, meditation, and sort of when you get closer to that still
Mm.
spirit, yes, something more static and minimal. And it really, really, it seems to kind of go hand in hand with that feeling,
Yeah. I mean, you guys are sort of known for that starkness, that minimal sound palette. Was that
Hmm.
always the sound you were going for, or how did you land on that vibe of yours?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
we were
think
pretty
that
intentional at
was.
first.
Hmm.
John, who was our first bass player, and I had played together, and obviously Mim and I had known each other since we were young, and we were, I think just, the idea for the band definitely had parameters. So we thought it came about like, oh, I wonder what would happen if we played just these two simple things like over and over again, kind of, what would happen if a band started approaching like Brian Eno, ambient style stuff, or, more far out, Lamont Young, stuff like that kind of. And so, we were intentional with, let's play really slow and very sparse and even quiet, and see, you kind of, part of me right away kind of had the hunch like, well, this is probably to come off as pretty perverse, in front of the right audience. It's going to really,
have an impact,
or at least, they're gonna have to decide yes or no for sure.
So well, it is sort of that subversion of like modern rock tropes too, sort of like, especially if someone doesn't know who you are and you're just starting out and they show up to your show and they see you guys come on stage and then you play something like Do You Know How to Waltz, there it is sort of that suspension of expectation there.
It was the first few years it was really like every show we did, it was just a shock. It was just like, well, okay, there's 12 people here. I wonder who will be left and who will be heckling us, and which two of them are going to come up and say that was really awesome. When are you going to come back? That was kind of how it was for the first few years.
So you guys are often pegged, or were often pegged, with that slowcore label, which I think I've read before that you guys quite dislike. No. And I was wondering what are the intrinsic problems with a label like that? Do you think?
Well,
or are there any?
Well, I guess. Well, first off, we don't dislike that term. It was one that came along, and it was kind of funny at first, and that's kind of a clever phrase. I guess it kind of describes what we're doing, and then after a while, as sort of the 90s started blossoming, and sort of every indie band had their own sort of thread and style, or different, it became kind of a big thing to kind of divide everybody into labels and genres. And
the problem with labels in general is, they pigeonhole you into and I feel like we have not been
too pigeon. I don't know. We
haven't really. I don't think we've stuck with that.
Right. I mean, we've expanded since
within that genre.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
I mean, if it helps people, understand what we maybe sound like, if
you want to describe us, if you want to describe us to your aunt,
I don't know.
we'll take it.
Yeah, she knows.
She knows what slowcore is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I won't have to do any more explanation than that.
Yeah. Oh, Grandma, it's slowcore. You've heard it.
Yeah, you've heard it all.
Yeah, duh. But it is true. I mean, you guys, maybe that does describe your first few albums, but like you said, you haven't really stuck with one sort of arsenal of tricks, even though your toolkit hasn't changed a whole lot. I feel like the way you guys have used it has changed, because if you look at an album like I Could Live in Hope and then compare it to something like Come On, Come On and The Invisible Way, and albums kind of in that era felt a lot more straightforward, but they were made with the same materials. And then you have something like Double Negative, which felt like nothing else you guys have done.
Right.
So I definitely feel like there's that sort of wave formation of you guys through the years.
Yeah. Well, we were lucky enough to be able to get to do it this long, and most bands aren't around this long. So it's probably a little easier to look at back and go like, well, there's the discography of so and so, and that definitely kind of has a vibe. And I was like, well, they only had, they're really together for 7 or 8 years, and that they probably were evolving, but it would take another 10 years of them being around for you to see where they're going, and sort of that depth. So, I mean, honestly, we were afforded the chance to grow, and we've always worked with labels and people that were fine with letting us do whatever we wanted to, and I think that freedom sort of made the progress more natural over the years. Gradual, but also natural, and it.
Yeah, I mean, if we had become more popular, I think it would have been more difficult for us to kind of explore some of the things that we've done. And
we kind of yeah, the band was sort of started on the precedent of, let's try to make something we've never heard before, or let's make something that might even challenge people, and I think that's,
Yeah, it's kind of.
I'm just been lucky to kind of always been able to have that, and
Mhm.
I don't know, most people don't get that.
Yeah, I mean, if you had increased visibility to a sort of stardom type standpoint, you maybe you wouldn't have had the allowance to sort of follow your whims like you've been able to. So there's that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
pretty
mean,
almost safe to say we probably still wouldn't be around. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, I don't know, I don't know if
Yeah.
it'll last as long.
I mean, you are on Sub Pop currently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good size label, but I imagine based off your last few albums that they must be relatively hands off with the creative process.
Yeah, they always have
Yeah,
been.
they always
Yeah,
have
they're
been.
always.
Yeah.
Early Jonathan early on, before we were on the label, kind of expressed his, he knew he would come to shows, and really liked us. Really, and when he asked us to come on, he definitely kind of gave us the impression like he just wanted us to do what we do, and was happy to support whatever we wanted to do. And that's the way it's been pretty much. So.
Mm-hmm. What was it like, or what was the decision-making process like behind bringing BJ Burton on for Double Negative? Because he's more known for more obviously electronic music than you guys
Right.
typically are. Lizzo and Sylvan Esso
Right.
and people like that. So how did that come about?
Well, we actually got a message from him out of the blue. I think they saw we were headed down to Chicago for some shows, and he just was like, "Hey, why don't you stop in the studio in Eau Claire in Wisconsin? Justin Vernon's studio there.
Mhm.
He'd be working there." So why don't you come by and check out the studio? Maybe you guys would want to work there. And I thought, oh, okay, it's only a couple hours away. This would be cool. And I had met Justin before, like years ago, just playing shows in Eau Claire with other bands and stuff. So it was like, oh, okay, cool. We'll go see Justin and meet BJ. And yeah, I don't know. We thought the studio was cool. Started conversations with BJ. I ended up working with him on a record by this band called Trampled by Turtles. Kind of more of a new bluegrass type band or whatever. But he and I worked together, kind of producing and engineering it, and we got along really well. And conversations started there about kind of possibilities and what kind of stuff we liked. And I guess that's kind of, we kind of decided then, like, yeah, let's work together, because it seemed like he was feeling some similar things that I was looking for. So
Yeah.
But yeah, just kind of worked it out. We've been really lucky, and it's close. It's only a few hours away to his studio, so it's really really convenient.
And then I guess with Ones and Sixes, we started down that path.
Yeah, we Ones and Sixes with BJ,
and we knew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did that one with him, and so we could see the.
Kind of the first record was kind of the learning, like, okay, what's possible here? And we were kind of maybe working a little more on the traditional side of like, okay, here's our songs, let's go in the room and play them and then mix them. And BJ started kind of breaking that up a little bit and giving us this opportunity to stretch out. And by the time we were done with Ones and Sixes, we were pretty sure that like the next thing was going to be a lot further out. And so, yeah.
Did you have to write the songs in a different way for Double Negative just because it is structurally and sonically so different, or did they still kind of start like a typical Low song?
It was the writing's all pretty typical. I mean, you still just kind of bring in a song. I guess the reason maybe it sounds different is just sort of the way we were approaching things. I'd come in and like, well, here's this song, the way I strum it on the guitar. Let's see if we can do it with the synthesizer and drum machine and Nim's voice or something.
Some of those songs were built a little bit more in the studio than in the past, for sure. I mean, initial ideas were there, but there was definitely.
And there were definitely like versions. We'd a couple songs we'd do a few different versions before we found what worked, and sometimes there were songs that seemed to work on their own, and when they're finished with it, just didn't work with the rest of the record. So it was Double Double Negative was a little looser. There was definitely songs brought in, but then also stuff that was just fragments. Maybe I only had a few lines and a chord or two, and then we'd kind of build it from there, and it would turn into something, and come back 2 weeks later and finish it or finish the lyrics or whatever. But yeah. Kind of
What were some of the inspirations behind Double Negative? Because to me, it always kind of feels like your bleakest album. But I don't know if that's actually true or if it's just sort of the mood that I get as I put on the headphones.
Yeah.
And especially because so many of the lyrics are kind of gnarled and obscured. I'm just sort of wondering what the motives were behind a lot of that album.
Well, I don't know how conscious we were of it at the time. I mean, certainly stuff was unfolding, the election, and we were basically did that record over the election, and kind of into the year as what's his name started his presidency and stuff. So yeah, that stuff was definitely bearing on us. The idea of voices and truth, and how much, how clear do sometimes the voice is very close and you know exactly what it's saying. Sometimes it's far away and you can only pick up fragments, and sometimes it's just the sound of the voice that is all you need. And there was some conscious talk about that, sort of like messing around with the way vocals, how vocals are mixed in with the rest of the music, and trying to get away from sort of some of the go-to sounds that we would go. We definitely kind of broke apart the drums and the sounds and the way we would build rhythm. But yeah, I think, yeah, I remember as it was going down, sort of at the same time as making this record, and sort of realizing like, wow, this has to be everything. I mean, I think we were like, I was probably the most determined I've ever been to deliver something that meant something. And I think the fact that we kind of already were down this road of doing something really extreme, something we knew was going to be a challenge and sort of far beyond what our typical sound is. I think it just made me, it just kind of clinched my jaw down even harder. Like, you're darn right. I'm gonna make a record that's gonna destroy these fools.
Well, the extremity of it, though, is sort of a good mirror of probably the tenor inside your own minds at that time.
Yeah, I mean, we've determined that all of the records that we've released, like he was saying, we're not really aware of it at the time, but after the fact, we always go back. Yeah, it's always a reflection on what's going on in our minds and our
the world, or personally, family.
Yeah, I was going to ask a bit about your lyrics as well. Not specific lyrics, but just sort of the fact that many of your lyrics across your discography do tend to be pretty impressionistic, and more sort of, to me, it sounds more like sound forward lyricism as opposed to maybe a really contemplative singer-songwriter piece or something. Are your lyrics, typically rooted in personal experience, or is it more of a sort of free association type thing?
I don't know. Well, probably both. I mean, it's definitely something spilling out of your subconscious.
Yeah.
You're not in that. I'm not in that state of mind all the time, obviously. But when you do kind of get there, there's definitely sort of this translucent kind of, you're kind of getting subconscious. I guess I like to try to picture myself as just a window that's open.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever been, storytellers. We're not. It's not that.
It's really rare. Every once in a while, there's a song that kind of sounds like, oh, this is one story.
This is a story that happened, but
that has a beginning or something. But, yeah, definitely more impressionistic. I mean, the minimalism kind of early on sort of spurred that. We realized like, wow, there's just four lines and a couple loops to the cycle, and this song's done. So you're like, okay, well, I guess these 4 lines should probably be pretty potent and pretty whole,
but at the same time open to interpretation.
and at the same time, yeah, and
Yeah.
it seems like
Yeah.
very open to interpretation because it's, and I think that happens naturally if you kind of let it be a little loose, let it be a little impressionistic, let it be a little incomplete. That's a big thing for me. I don't, I guess when I listen to something and there's room for my mind to fill in the details, like I guess it's more interactive. I feel that way, and so I guess when we write, I'm okay with it being just fragments and just a moment that then you can bring all your own memory and perception into.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, as we talked about before, the sound palette you guys have always played with has been this sort of gone against the grain of what people expect from rock music, and then I feel like that applies lyrically as well, to many of your songs, even on your more accessible, straightforward, quote unquote poppier songs. I do still feel like that's the case. So when you bring it up to Double Negative, I mean, it doesn't really sound like the guitar-based music you were playing in the 90s, but it is still that suspension of what you expect from even electronic records or rock records or something like that.
I'm not. I think there's definitely sort of a mode or certain kind of vibe in sort of a corner of the universe that we kind of tend toward, but I don't know. Hopefully there's some room.
So how did touring go for Double Negative? Was it hard to translate those songs onto the stage?
No, we've had experience over the years. There'll be something we'll do a certain way on the record, kind of. But even as we're doing it, we kind of know that
we decided early on that we were not gonna
worry about.
We weren't gonna
duplicate
we weren't gonna duplicate it. I mean, we in some regards we kind of try to replicate some sounds, and it was mostly just, I guess, to try to replicate the feel. Try to, if we could do that with the regular setup, that was what our intentions were.
And if it's a good song and you really want to do it, there's definitely different ways you can do it, and it's still going to be all right. I mean, I remember years ago thinking that there must be just one quintessential version of every song, and it took a long time to realize, like, well, if it's a good song and you really you're really putting yourself into it, you can do it in many different ways. It's still going to cut through. So I don't know. I mean, there was not a lot of discussion about it. We just kind of assumed, like, well, all right, well, here's this song, and I suppose if we're going to do it live, we'd probably have Mim do this, and I'll maybe do this effect on my guitar, but I'm basically just playing the chords, and the bass will cover this thing that's sort of a synth, but we'll probably just make it into a bass part. And then, and there's a little bit, I don't know, there's a little bit of kind of pride in knowing that, at the end of the day, we can just sit down with our regular instruments and play a tune for somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think live, there's something about sort of seeing people's hands hit things and their voices, move the air that you're sharing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. There's something more. I think it's more direct, more. It's just kind of more our place live. I think
more room for air too.
More room for air and
human. It's all about being human for us.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we don't want it to be too perfect.
I
think it
picture
freaks right
you
down
guys showing up to I couldn't picture you guys showing up to a Double Negative show and like pressing play and standing behind a desk and just singing over some MIDI track that you have going.
Right. That's exactly. That's kind of them.
We're not only old school, we're old.
Yeah, we're old.
So
old and still in school.
Yeah.
I know. I was curious to see. I think if I remember correctly, you guys were this year coming to Connecticut again, but
I think
not anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hopefully, once quarantine is over, we can all get back together.
It would be,
that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what it's going to be.
I know. So what have you been reading, writing, or listening to anything to stay grounded in quarantine?
Yeah, I've been
Or
reading
watching
some
anything?
books. I've been reading right now. I'm reading this book called Peace Like a River. It's this Minnesota author, Leaf or Leif, depending on who you're talking about. Anger is his name, but yeah, no, it's
Mm.
really great. Just a really good story. Um, I'm not much of a writer. I wish I was. I'm trying my hand at a little watercolor. Our daughter is really artistic, and we've been stocking up on art supplies. I've been trying a little bit of stuff like that, but
Oh,
Yeah,
that's great though.
I don't know. I've been just kind of, yeah, I guess I'm writing and trying to work on stuff. And I don't know. Working on finish the sauna, which
mhm. It's like 3 or 4 nights a week.
which
That
was like
thing or
4
something.
obsessive days of,
Yeah.
of, of trying to, yeah, watching what's that show? Midnight Gospel.
Oh, that's what you guys are watching right now.
I don't know what that is.
It's a new animated series on I think it's on Netflix, but it's pretty intense. I think it's the same. It's kind of similar to what's not Dragon
Adventure
Ball.
Time is
It's kind of similar to
that
the
guy is
Adventure. It's the
involved in
same.
it
It's the
somehow.
same person. Similar. Yeah, I think it's
Hmm.
connected. Might be connected with Adventure Time or something. It kind of comes across that way, but it's even more. It's even more kind of. Yeah, it's yeah. You'll have to check it out.
Is it
Uh,
like a very dark animated show?
yeah, it's pretty dark. All the dialogue. It sounds like they're doing an interview on a blog. It's basically a blog. They're basically doing an interview, but this animation is going on underneath, and it's loosely connected to what they're talking about, but also
Not.
exactly what they're talking about in
Oh,
some way.
okay.
It's sort of yeah, yeah. This one.
Interesting.
Check out the one with Dr. Drew. I'm not necessarily a fan of him, but the Dr. Drew episode is a good place to start and get a feeling
Hmm.
like, that's what's going on here.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I haven't yeah, I've been looking for a new show to watch in my all my ample time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously, yeah. Midnight.
So
What
maybe I'll
else?
check that
What
out.
Yeah,
else do
you'll
you
like it.
watch?
We've been watching well we're a little behind, but we've been watching Killing Eve.
Right.
Although I've sort of fallen out of love with it recently. We just started watching that new HBO series Run,
Oh, wow. I don't know
um,
much about that. Hmm.
with Merritt Weaver and Donald Gleason. It was
Oh, I
like
love her.
executive
Okay.
Merritt Weaver. I know, I
Yeah.
love her too. She's great in everything.
Yeah, she is.
Um, yeah, I would if you haven't watched it, I'd recommend that show Unbelievable that
Hmm.
she was in last
Oh,
year.
I started that and I only got like partway through an episode and I don't know, I distracted and but I need to go back to it.
It's really good. She doesn't come in until the second episode, but she's
Okay.
great. Toni Collette is great in it.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, there's so much good television, and I feel like I'm missing all of it.
I know. I know. Did you watch
So
the first season of Dead to Me?
we watched like 3/4 of it, and then
Mhm.
my boyfriend stopped wanting to watch it, so I
Oh
stopped
no.
watching it.
Cuz
But
I
I
just
know it. I need to finish it.
I heard that the second season is coming out soon.
Yeah,
I'm
and
kind of excited about that.
from what I've seen, I'm like, I can't imagine what that will look like.
I know. I know. Well,
But
you need to
I think
watch you need to watch
I have to watch the
yeah,
end.
so then you'll get an idea.
Okay. I mean, I like both of them, and I think they're both really good in it. So I do
Yeah, I
have to
do
go back
too.
and
Yeah.
finish that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't been reading much because I'm also an English teacher, so I've been just working mostly.
Oh
Hmm.
wow. Well, that's pretty
But
great.
so
Doing
sticking with the texts that we're teaching.
Mhm.
right.
Yeah, right.
Are you having to do?
Summer is when I get to read.
Are you doing Zoom classroom kind of stuff, or like lecture, or is it
No,
just
it's mostly just like electronic writing and
okay?
discussion boards, and we can do video classes if we want, but we can't
Mhm.
require them because not everyone can do them.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, and honestly, for me, it's always been like a weirdness kind of for me to like be Skyping into their like bedroom.
Yeah.
I know it
Um,
is weird.
so I'm
Yeah.
not super into it, but I know some teachers have been gladly Zooming
Yeah.
with 7 kids at a time, and that's
Yeah,
great,
our 15-year-old does it like every weekday. The
Mhm.
superintendent kind of does like a Zoom chat with everybody. Well, whoever
Whoever wants to
joins it,
hang
but
out.
it's really great because they just
Yeah, I think our principal does
chew
that
the
a little
fat.
bit.
And, what are you doing?
Yeah.
All right, da da da.
Yeah, we have a discussion board every week that's basically just a general like come in and talk about whatever, because it's been hard for them too. I don't know how your kids have been doing, but I know it's been hard for a lot of students to adjust.
I think they seem
I
to be
think
doing
seem to be
okay.
doing okay. There's definitely
The high school is still going on. Our daughter she's finished her college classes already. Yeah, so she finished a week or two ago, but
yeah.
and it went all right.
Yeah, it's
It was weird, but
Yeah.
It is weird, and we don't even know if it'll be over by September. We may be starting this way.
It might be, yeah.
Yeah, it might be.
Which will be really strange, but
Crazy.
oh well. Well, I hope you guys stay safe and home and healthy and happy. Enjoy your sauna.
You too.
Thank you so much again, both of you, for talking to me.
Thanks.
It's been a pleasure getting to chat with you guys.
Yeah, you too. Hey,
you too. Yeah, take care.
Right, stay safe. See ya.
Take care. Thank you, you too.
Right, bye.
Bye.